I see. Well, he sits up a little bit. Is this Pokemon that you have had in your possession recently? How long?
6 to 8 years.
6 to 8 years. And you say it has not been registered during that time?
It hasn't been registered, but it hasn't been mine either. We've just sort of hung out.
Ah, interesting. What sort of Pokemon is it?
Um, he looks at Trenton. He's a little bit uncomfortable with someone
Trenton.
else. Oh, he's
Trenton doesn't seem to be completely. Well, I don't. He's in the room, but I don't think he's paying attention to what you're saying. But he can hear what you're saying. I don't think he's paying attention to what you're saying.
Chase will lean forward a little bit, so he's whispering it in Mimikyu.
He pulls back. And then without saying a word, he stands up. And then he says, Ariel? Yes, Lobel? Ariel, do you mind if I use your study, please? Sure. Of course, Lobel. Do what you need. Mr. Imfei, follow me.
He gets up right away.
He will take you over down the hall into a study area, and you can see a lot more of you can see a lot of pictures on the wall. This is actually Trenton's home office, and Mr. Lobel Benoit will go over, take a seat in front of the desk, and then but before that he'll shut the door behind him after you enter, and he'll take a seat behind the desk, and then he sits down and he has his hands as so, and then he says, so let me make sure I heard you correctly. You said that you have been in possession of a Mimikyu for the past 6 to 8 years?
Mm-hmm. Possession is a strong word, but
all right, well, you have been in knowledge of a Mimikyu here in Johto that is unregistered for the last 6 to 8 years, and haven't reported such Mimikyu.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, has there been any incidents with this Mimikyu? Any reported incidents?
Not reported.
Okay. I'm not going to lie to you, Mr. Mfei. Having a Mimikyu here for that long, regardless of whether you are claiming ownership of it or not, is a very serious offense. What can be done? What can be done? What can be done? I can certainly argue the fact that this Mimikyu has been in your presence and that you never once, am I correct, never once claimed that you are the owner of said Mimikyu?
That's correct.
All right. All right. Let me ask you this. Are you looking for pardon from having said Mimikyu in your presence and open to allowing the Mimikyu to be returned back out through the walls? Or is your intention, I figured as much, your intention is to try to continue keeping that said Mimikyu?
Legitimately, yes.
Normally, under these circumstances, you're going to have to give a specific reason why you should be allowed to keep such a Pokemon here within the walls. What is your reasoning for having such a thing here when they normally are not allowed? For very good reason, might I point out.
He's never hurt anybody. He watches over, and he's trying to be careful with his words here. He watches over the other Pokemon with me, helps them feel included. I think he's not the typical Mimikyu that people fear. I've always kept him under different costumes so that his true nature would be concealed. And he's only done things to help people in the city.
Such as what? Specifics.
Well, he helped save people from a burning building that was part of a terrorist attack, for one.
Hmm.
I don't think I need to go beyond that one. That's been the biggest recent one.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. How do you know for sure that this Mimikyu has not harmed anyone? How can you guarantee that it won't?
I can try to guarantee that it won't. If it's in my proper care, legitimately registered to my name, then I will take ownership for and be responsible for any of his actions.
That was actually the next thing I was going to say. If we actually succeed in this and actually succeed in legalizing said thing, then yes, if some incident were to happen because of the presence of this Mimikyu, you would definitely be responsible for it. And you would also have to agree to whatever punishment would be given not only to yourself but to the Mimikyu as well as a result. Are you willing to enter into that contract?
I am.
All right. Well, he starts going through some documents, and then he starts taking out his phone and he starts tapping something to the phone. Now, Mr. Mfei, you work with a daycare salary.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you would be able to provide enough compensation for such a service?
I have money saved. Been saving for my retirement since an early age. I don't spend a lot.
I can make a vouch for you and your Mimikyu. I can get the ball rolling to getting some sort of registration, but it is going to cost quite a bit.
I'll pay whatever.
He'll probably try to charge you $2,500 for that. $2,500, like regular dollars. So plus an additional, you said 400. So we're gonna say the equivalent of $3,000. $3,000 times 50 is 150,000. 150,000 Pokebucks.
Mm-hmm.
Are you prepared for that compensation?
As long as I can pay it in chunks.
Oh, you could definitely
I
put
could
it in
pay-
chunks with interest.
With interest.
How much can you pay per month? Let's start with that.
Salary's fluctuating. I don't always get the hours I expect. But I could probably pay 25% of that a month, if all goes well.
All right. I can set you up with paying 25% a month, and if you slip, then the amount would then have to increase. Sounds fair.
Okay. Sounds fair.
We can have the documentation and paperwork figured out after dinner.
Perfect. And how can I reach you if I ever have to get a hold of you without having awkward dinners with your family?
He grins a little bit and he pulls out a card from his jacket pocket and he hands you one.
Chase reaches for his Sharpie, but he doesn't have it on him because he left it at Tiffany's house. And he reluctantly takes the card.
Okay.
And then he stares at it for a long time. And then puts it in his pocket.
Where is this Pokemon now, Mr. Mfei?
It's in his Pokeball. Figured it was the safest place to keep it while I was here so I don't freak anyone out, including the children.
So you don't claim to own him, and yet you keep him in your person in a Pokeball.
Well, I take care of his Pokeball, but I don't own him.
All All right, Mr. Impey.
I don't want anyone else getting a hold of this Pokeball. I want to make sure I'm protecting it. As you know, in the wrong hands, this kind of Pokemon could be a weapon.
That's the correct answer, Mr. Impey. Good. You're learning. That'll be important in the days to come.
Now, hopefully, in the days to come, a lot more things will make sense. And he looks at the business card again and then puts it in his pocket.
Well, like you said, you prefer taking risks, taking a chance. We'll see how this fares for you then, Mr. Impey. I hope it does.
It will. I have faith.
He will go over and step out. But by that point, everybody's starting to gather around the dinner table. Trenton will be there, and he says, Ariel, I think you've outdone yourself today. That smells amazing. Oh, thank you, honey, she says. Oh, Chase, would you like to have a slice?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So you guys will have dinner. I don't know if Tiffany's going to bring up anything. You know, it's just going to be like regular small talk around the
Chase
table.
Will just nod and shake his head. To like, don't bring this up.
Well, just smile and nod too. Like, okay.
Tiffany, how's the job coming along? Ariel asks.
Oh, I start next week. I'm so excited.
Oh,
This week has
I
been
see.
so sad. This is the last time I'm working with this client, and I promise you're gonna love the stylist I'm setting you up with. I mean, they're not as good as me, obviously, but I'm moving on.
And I heard that Jefferson is also working at the same place too.
That he is. We are on speaking terms. It is going well.
That's nice. I didn't think Jefferson was that bad of a person.
No. Yeah, it's more I was being that bad of a person for a while. Pokes at food. Shrugs. Goes back to eating food.
The constants are all... The whole constant line is... not exactly the best of people, but I will have to say their son Jefferson, he can be bearable at times.
Yeah, funny thing is, I remember our moms used to joke that we should totally get married as kids. They were totally going to set up an arranged marriage between us. It didn't happen, of course, but it was their ongoing joke.
Yes, just what we need. Somebody marrying into the Constant family, Lobel says.
Oh. Not that bad. Well, once you get past Cecilia, I only really know Cecilia and Jefferson personally.
Tiffany, if you have no interests in marrying to the Constant family, thank Arceus, have you by any chance managed to find yourself a mate? Maybe someone, a doctor or engineer or...
Jenny?
Another lawyer, perhaps? A Jenny?
Yes? Sets down fork.
Tiffany, are you telling me what I think you're telling me?
Kyle, Jenny. Remember I mentioned a lieutenant? We've been talking a lot lately.
Oh, yes. That male, Jenny.
Exactly. You sound very happy about that. As I recall, there was a time you used to be really happy I dated girls because you have to worry about pregnancy. And this is really not dinner conversation.
He says, well, I don't get the pleasure of your presence all the time, so...
True.
Tell me about this Jenny, this lieutenant.
His name's Kyle. He's a lieutenant, so he's been a Jenny for several years. He's very passionate and serious about his work. And again, we haven't really talked that much. We're going on our first date tomorrow. Coffee, nothing big, but I'm hopeful.
I've had to work with a lot of Jennies in my line of work. And yes, for the most part, they seem to be great people. I mean, they are enforcing the law after all. When you finish your dinner, you said you wanted to talk to
Lobel.
Someone about something? You want to talk to Lobel. Okay.
Chase, do you mind keeping an eye on you for a few minutes? I'm going to drag Dad outside.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Father? Gestures toward door. Let's go say hi to Tide.
Very well. Let's go see how he's doing. he will leave with you, and he'll have some food with him that he's going to also serve Tide as well. He'll go over out and... Okay, Flair will be there. Flair actually already has food put out for it, and he will go over to Tide's tank and place a tray right next to the tank so that Tide can munch on some yummy nibblies, and he will stroke the back of Tide's head. So, Tiffany, what do you have to talk about now?
First off, thank you for helping Molly. I feel I should have said that in person, which is why I didn't thank you when you sent me the information directly.
I don't think I was honestly that much help. I pretty much felt like I was the bearer of bad news, but you're welcome.
It's more information than she's had, and she has been looking. Yeah, I wish it were better news, but that's life.
Is that all you wanted to talk to me about? Thanking me for that?
That it was the most pleasant part of that conversation. Because I want to talk about something, and I know it's one of the things you don't want to talk about with me, but I need to talk about it.
And what, pray tell, could that be?
Mom?
What is it about your mother that you wish to talk about, Tiffany?
I've been thinking about her a lot, and I miss her.
So have I.
I didn't really get to mourn her when she passed, because you disappeared into the firm, and Trenton and Belle was trying to start dealing with Ariel, and I was pretty much the only one that... Well, I had the salon at the time, but it was easier for me to bury myself in arranging the funeral than it was to deal with the fact that she was gone. And it doesn't help any. She's the person I was closest to.
Yes, she was. Her death affected all of us, Tiffany. Not just you.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like I got to mourn her. I felt like I just buried myself and didn't think about I was going to miss her, and then by the time the funeral was done and everything was finished, I didn't feel like I got the chance afterward because everyone else is starting to move on, or they were still too depressed to talk about it in a happier, lighter tone.
So whose fault was that then?
I don't know. But I do know it sucks now that I can't bring her up at all. I swear I'm not doing it to hurt you. I need to talk about her.
I don't know what there is to talk about, honestly, Tiffany. Your mother is gone. We've all had to deal with it.
The life she led. I've had her on so much of a pedestal. Sometimes I don't even think I think of her as a person anymore. But she wasn't. She was just as much human and flawed as everybody else, and there's so much of her life I don't know.
At this point, it's looking like Lobel is getting more and more restless, and Russell says, Tiffany, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this.
Well, I do! Stamps her foot. I'm sorry, it's painful. It's
well,
for me too.
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? Do you think I can't bring her back?
I'm not asking
how
you
am I supposed to fix
I'm
this?
asking you to let me talk about her. Or you tell me stories about her. Just anything to keep her memory alive.
There's a lot of things about your mother that I miss. There's also a lot of things about your mother that I wish I could forget.
Goes silent, and little Ashen just stares at him.
You put her up on a pedestal? I've put her up on a pedestal. I love her dearly. But like all the rest of us, she's just as flawed and messed up as the rest of this family. She's definitely had her share of mistakes. And I think it would be a disservice to her to not recognize the whole person, who she was. Because it would completely ignore parts of her that were there.
Now tell me about those parts, because I don't see them, and I need to see them.
You want to know? You want to know those parts?
I think I need to.
Well, I don't think you want to, though. Because if I were to uncover something for you and it upsets you, I don't want you coming back and getting mad at me.
Fine, understandable.
Your mother and I. Yes, on paper and especially out in public, we seem to be quite a great couple. Yes. But that did not mean that we didn't have our struggles and we didn't have our trials, many of which took place even before you were born. I am not going to pretend that I was a perfect husband. Work was very important for me. I was very, very ambitious. And quite often, I have to admit, I spent a lot more time worrying about my job than her and our child at the time, Trenton. Your mother, she was always the adventurous type.
Nods.
She was always attracted to the excitement of the unknown. I, on the other hand, I admit I'm a little bit more of a homebody. I like things predictable. I like things formulaic. I like things that I can prepare for, plan for. She, however, would much prefer running off and travel the world, of which you know I hate traveling. So yes, I guess a giant chunk of the reason why we had some marital struggles was my fault. And there was a time when I did push her away. Not on purpose, but I did. This is before you were born. Your mother left me, you know. Briefly, but she did. She got up, packed her things. Of course, we got into a big fight about it. I told her she was being melodramatic. I told her that, you know, she would come crawling back again, you know, because she had done it a few times before. She would leave the door, packing up her things, threatening to leave me, and she would be right back within the next hour. Well, she left, and I stood there by that door, waiting for your mother to come returning back and to admit the faults and the follies of her actions. 2 hours passed, 3 hours passed. I was getting ready for bed. She hadn't arrived yet, so I stayed up a little bit because I am a gentleman like that. Decided to go to bed. Didn't want her to think that I would be worried sick about her because your mother can take care of herself. She wasn't there at breakfast. Nor the breakfast after that, nor the breakfast after that. I tried calling her. She didn't answer any of my calls. She finally returned a month later, feeling very sorry, very awful. She said that there was a lot of things that, many mistakes that she's made, but she admitted that there were a lot of mistakes that I made as well. So I said, fine, we can bury the hatchet, we can start over afresh. There's no need for this silly situation to tarnish our household, tarnish our name. And we decided to never speak of it again. You were born 9 months later.
Thank you. And she will hug him.
He doesn't return the hug.
Hugs harder anyway. You're still the person that raised me. You're still my father. And that she'll step back and she will go into the house.
Are you sure?
That she raised me? Yeah. Pretty sure about that.
No, that's not what I was referring to.
Stops walking, turns around. Then what?
Are you sure I'm your father?
You're the one that raised me. Blood or not blood, you are the one that raised me. if we do not share the same blood for whatever reason, does that honestly matter to you? Am I honestly not important to you, to that life, simply because I'm not biologically yours? Because Trenton is still my brother.
Tiffany, it seemed pretty obvious why you took after your mother than you took after myself. For many years, and I never said anything, because it's not appropriate for me to say such a thing, but because we're laying everything out on the table right now, you were a constant reminder. You were a constant reminder of the wedge that was put between myself and your mother. Maybe that's why I haven't been as affectionate to you all this time. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just telling you. When I look at you, I remember her, but worse, I also remember him.
Him who? And I have a feeling I might know the answer. Wade?
His brow furrows. How do you know that name?
You know what? We're being honest. I was in Castilia as part of a task force this Saturday this week. Ask for Kyle Jennings with the Saffron Police Department if you don't believe me. We came across a diary open that my mom had written to Wade. Unfortunately, everyone in that household was slaughtered. So I didn't get a chance to talk to the host.
Wade Fernandez
Yep.
was murdered.
Yeah, head decapitated. Kinda gruesome, actually.
Leave me, Tiffany.
He wraps arms around her,
Go!
bows her head, and slowly goes back inside. Finds Chase, rests her hand on his shoulder. We're going. And, sweetie, she's not even going to wait for him. She's just going to pop him back into the ball. She's going to go find Trenton, hug him tightly. You are my family. And then she's going to leave.
Inconveniently, Chase, Mr. Benoit has not given you your papers yet. This is immediately after dinner. So he hasn't signed up any of the paperwork for you yet.
Are you going to tell Tiffany this? That you need to stay for a bit?
No, he gets up and leaves with Tiffany.
Okay.
So on the walk back to Tiffany's for his clothes, because he does want his hood back.
Yeah, obviously. I assumed he was going for that immediately.
So on the walk back, he's like, so I talked to your father. I try to work out a situation for Lux. It sounds like your conversation went a little bit rougher than mine did, but I'll work it out.
Okay.
And then he puts his hand in his pocket and he pulls out a figurine of an angel, and it's made out of an emerald stone. And he hands over the figurine and he says, at the store I picked this up from, and he points out the wing. He's like, sorry, there's like a chip in it. It was a bargain stone. But the point is that at the store, they said that this stone is actually a symbol of love. And it's also a symbol of hope. It's a stone of prophecy. And it acts to calm troubled minds. And the fact that it's imperfect made it perfect for me, because nothing in this world is perfect. And I just wanted to apologize for what happened at the orphanage when you saw your mother. And I want you to know that every time you look at this, she never left you, you know. She's always with you. Every time you think about her. That memory makes you important, Tiffany. I get sometimes that you think you don't belong with what's going on, but I think you might be surprised to find out that you belong a lot more than you think. Your mother was there for a reason. Believe in symbols. That didn't just happen. You were meant to be there. You were meant to see her again. And you are part of this.
Yeah. Close his hand over it. Thank you.
Thanks
so what
for,
about you?
Mhm.
What's your symbol?
What's my symbol?
Yeah.
He pulls out the Pokeball and he opens it and releases Lux.
Lux looks around confused, like, where are we? Looks at Tiffany. Looks around for you, doesn't see you, shrugs, goes up to your shoulder.
As long as this guy's with me, he's the symbol.
So, how'd your meeting with him go? And I'm very happy I shoved you two at each other before. Yeah.
It went great. I think I got more answers than I thought I would be getting in that room.
So did I. So did I.
We'll talk again soon, Tiffany. Thanks for the evening.
No problem.
I gotta go find Noire.
Yeah. Sorry for dragging all the way out here.
Nope, thank you. Nothing to apologize for.
Right, you need your clothes, and I'm assuming they're back to the apartment. Lets herself in.
Mm-hmm. Gets his clothes and changes in front of her, and
shrugs, just goes to her bedroom. Lets you out of his ball.
Have a good night.
Not possible. But we have bigger problems.
Yes, we do.
Have you heard anything from Cassie about her plans? Or should I just save it for Dreamworld?
Yeah, I think she's trying to make up her mind about stuff. Give her till tomorrow.
Yeah. If everything goes as planned, see you sleepy time.
See you.
Yeah. The whole time, the hand holding the angel has been closed around it.
Noire? Is anything happening before you go to bed, Noire, tonight?
Yeah, she'll, after Fabian's settled, she'll take Remy aside and sit down and have a long chat, basically just explaining what happened, like the Dreamworld thing and what happened in Castelia City, and she'll give some context to the Dr. Peralt Reyes, explaining that he did experiments on her. He put ornaments into her without permission, and one moment he said he'll control her. Next moment she woke up and there was a bunch of dead bodies around. And she'll also explain a little bit about the Giotto trip and what's happening with Cassie. Saying, yeah, so, and sorry to burden you with all this, but seems that the world won't let you stay innocent and safe from all this. So I'm going to give you all the information you need to make informed decisions.
He hears it all, and He's nervous most of the time about what he's hearing. It is the first time I think he's hearing the stuff about Noire. He's always made assumptions, and he's always been horribly afraid of her when she sleeps. There's no way he can communicate that. So you see the image of a tulip again in your mind, and then he rubs up against you.
She pets his head. Thought you flinch away.
So Noire's phone rings.
Okay. Hello?
How the hell does this thing work?
Who's this?
And he keeps on, you can hear dialing again. The beep, 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 beep. What the hell? How do you work with this thing?
You're working it. You're fine, Chase.
It's okay, good. What are you doing right now, Noire?
I was just having a chat with Remy about what's been.
I need you to meet me somewhere. Alone.
I can't like leave my brother in a house alone at night.
Cassie's there. She'll take care of him. I'm gonna
Okay,
send you an address if I can figure this thing out.
Fine.
I think you can take pictures
I'll
with
meet
this
you there.
damn
I'll
thing too.
leave a
Maybe I
note.
can send you a picture of this place too. I don't know. Figure it out.
Where are you?
It's a warehouse and he gives 2 street names. And he sends the address of that location. Come tonight before we fall asleep.
Okay.
Don't bring Remy.
Note at my place
Don't.
instead in case I get stabbed or something. I'm aware of it.
Not even Remy, Noire.
Look down, Remy. Inform him that Chase has demanded my presence without him. I'll say if he tries anything, I got his hand.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you get to the warehouse. And excuse me for a second.
Oh.
Is this how he murders you?
I know. Shh. It's okay. It'll all be over soon.
Oh.
Oh, okay. All right.
Noire?
Chase. This is a little creepy. Let's go. Not go by.
You're here
Strange
alone?
warehouse. Yeah. Pretty sure I wasn't followed.
So it sounds like you've had some stuff done to you.
Mm-hmm.
You understand you're the most dangerous person in this group, right?
I'm acutely aware of that. I can get reminded of it for some reason.
How old were you when he cut you?
What? It's just a few years back.
Was it because you were broken? Did he have to fix you?
I don't remember, to be honest. I wasn't exactly conscious or, said, please do this to me. I don't remember.
And no one was there to help you? So you were weak?
Someone eventually helped me. Eventually. Took them a little while.
But he finally found you, didn't he? And he pulled out
It
a
wasn't
knife.
him. The man I knew wouldn't have reacted like that, no matter how good he was at lying.
Chase raises the knife up to his neck. He had to make you better, though.
Huh? What do you mean? He didn't have to make anyone better. He was just doing whatever twisted things he ever wanted.
And he made a weapon out of nothing. And he starts walking towards Noire.
She kind of like backs up a little bit.
What is actually in you, Noire? Are you even human anymore?
Yes. No matter how many people he made me kill, maybe, I don't really know, I am definitely still human.
You're a human that's afraid of the dark. Every time you sleep and you see his face, every time you see him in a sushi restaurant, or things are going to start floating, friends are going to start getting thrown around, and he approaches her even closer. Can you defend yourself, Noire? And he holds out his knife.
She like flings the knife out of his hand. Do not do that.
If I were him right now, would you be in control? How strong are you,
No.
Noire?
It depends
And he
on which
charges
way
her.
you mean.
He charges her.
Well, she just has pushed the move now because it's like, wait, no.
You're going to have to stop me.
Yeah,
And he charges
she
her
is.
again.
She does the push maneuver again.
He just gets up like it doesn't hurt. He's like, is that all you have? I thought he made a weapon.
I don't want to hurt you.
You
I
can't
can
hurt me.
hurt you very easily.
No, you can't. And he charges her again.
Yes, I can, but I do not want to. Don't ask me to stinking hurt you.
He charges her again.
I put him in the barrier, but leaving enough things for air. No. You don't get to do this. You don't get to tell me to hurt people. Be someone else's weapon. I'm not. You can just tell someone, oh, yeah, you could go do this. Why would you do that?
You need to be in control. What's your name, Noire?
Nossa Sinclair, also known as Noire.
Who gave you that name, Noire?
My father.
Your father called you the Black? The thing you're afraid of, the thing that you let control you? Your father gave you that sign. He warned you. He gave you the weapon. He called you the name. The thing you need to confront. The thing you need to control. You can't be controlled by the Black. When you sleep, you need to face it so that we can do what we need to do together.
Face it? How would you just face it? You're acting like if it's something that I haven't actually tried to fix. I can't just magically
go. You try alone, Noire. You fail because you try alone. Whenever you sleep, you're never going to be alone anymore.
Well, at least you stopped charging at me. That's nice.
You could have done a lot more damage.
Yeah, I have control. I chose not to damage you.
So what do we do when you black out next time?
Well, don't grab me. That's probably a bad idea. Also, don't threaten to knock me out. Last time
what
someone
I have
knocked
to
me out
do.
against my will, I woke up and my father was dead. I couldn't save him. I didn't get enough time. If I didn't get knocked out, I could have destroyed that machine. And
Your father gave you that name. You need to own it. And you need to not be afraid anymore. And you need to not be alone. And he pulls out a pin from his pocket. I got this silly pin. It was a smiley face early this morning. He hands it to her, and it's actually been covered with his black Sharpie to look like the psychic symbol.
she lets down the barrier so you can actually give it to her.
He's holding it up. He's like, it looks like a black psychic symbol. He's like, black isn't part of the spectrum.
You know those are bad signs, right? This is for
It's for what?
criminals. For people who are beyond redemption.
Or people named Noire who don't have to be defined by any of these symbols. And he hands it over to her. It's like, I think you're hiding behind something that's not who you are. That's part of the problem. You need to embrace who you are, whether you were born that way or whether someone manufactured you. You're a real person with real people around you now. I think it's time to stop hiding things.
Well, some things people rather not know.
That's not our option anymore.
Well, in the dream world tonight, we should definitely have a team meeting. Terrorist groups tend to... I've dealt with terrorist groups before.
This could be Cassie's decision.
Yeah, and our job is to support and advise her the best we can.
Mm-hmm. That's
Well.
it. Have a good night.
Good evening, sir.
And he finds his corner where his bed's at. Yeah, Chase will look down and he'll say, she didn't break any of my bones.
And Cassie will have been lying in bed for a while, you know, just over the covers, just thinking more than actually going to sleep or anything. Eventually, though, she'll take out her phone and text Nevi and just ask, "You busy?"
Nope. Why?
All right, after getting that response, she'll actually call her.
Hey, girl. What's up?
Hey, all right, I was trying to think of a fun way to put this, but I guess there's not really any sort of...
Wow, you're leading with that.
You didn't hear anything from the other station or anything, did you? I don't know how your communication is.
Heard about from the station about what?
Well, you remember the weird text from my mom?
Yeah? What about it?
They weren't from her, technically speaking. The rockets got her. So
You're kidding.
No, and I just thought this was something that you should be aware of.
But, okay, practical question before we get to the obvious. Is this the same people that you worked with?
Yeah.
So you know where they are then?
I have 2 days, and then I get to show up at the base and see what they have to say.
Why can't you just tell the Jennies where their base is, and we can, you know, we can take care of it?
No offense to you, but you guys haven't proven that dependable as of late. Not to mention, as good as you might be, I don't think you can go any faster than a trigger. I have no idea where they have her, how they have her. They told me to come alone, so if one thing goes wrong, that could be it.
So we can't get involved is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
What
I'm
are you
not
gonna-
I'm not telling you any of this as a cop. I just needed to talk to you, you know?
well, first of all, Cassie, you're not going to do anything stupid, right? Please tell me you're not going to do anything stupid.
I don't know yet.
What are you thinking of doing?
Well, complying with their wishes, you know, I'll go in alone and just try to figure it out from there.
You think they're just going to let you go in and go back out with your mom?
No, but what other option is there? Can you think of anything better? Anything that would secure her that because I can't.
What do you want me to do? What do you need me to do?
I don't know. I'm just really scared, Nevi.
Do you want me to come over? You just tell the word and I'll drive over there.
You don't have to.
Well, too late. I'm already putting some pants on. Hey, you can hear these? You can hear keys jangling.
All right, I hear him. I hear him.
All right. I'll be there in like 15 minutes top.
Okay. I'll be
All right?
waiting. Mm-hmm.
All right. She'll hang up. 15 minutes later, you'll get a knock on the door.
And having been waiting, yeah, Cassie will get the door. She doesn't look fantastic, but you know, she hides it pretty well, so.
Okay. Nevi will be there. She's not wearing her rookie outfit. She's in civilian clothing, of course. And then she goes up to you and she wraps her arms around you and gives you a big hug.
Yeah, she'll take in a deep breath as Nevi, you know, wraps her arms around her, and she'll return it, you know, give her a little squeeze, her chin over her shoulder.
She'll rub your back a little bit, and after that she'll pull away, but she'll grab a hold of your hands as she pulls away. And she says, "All right, we got to figure something out. So what did they tell you that you needed to do? You need to go there by yourself, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Well,
Before you ask, I'm assuming that means I can't bring my Pokemon.
okay. I mean, so you don't want us to put anything on you, I guess, because they might, I guess, detect that or something. Do they have like scanners and sensors or metal detectors or whatever in there?
Cassie will just nod.
You've worked with them, so what do you think they would want from you to release your mom? Money? Pokemon?
I mean, I think this is more of a pride thing almost, you know, a lesson sort of. I don't think they demand money, at least for the sake of actually wanting money, you know. I think it's more personal than that.
You think they might make an example out of you?
Yeah. And at that point, you know, then I'm really just at their mercy.
She curses out loud and says, "There's got to be something that we can do. There's got to be something. You can't just go in there without anything."
I'm going to prepare as best I can, just in case.
Can't you like offer them something? Like, I hate to say this, Cassie, but can't you? This is probably a stupid question, but you've got stuff of your dad's, right? Maybe they would possibly willing to bargain. I don't know. That sounds awful, but I'm kind of grasping at straws here as what you could offer them.
What kind of stuff are you even referring to?
Well, I don't know. Like, he's working on a lot of like Pokemon related research? Like, I don't know. I'm sure he's gotten some valuable secrets or something.
Well, anything that they would possibly accept would be terrible in their hands. You know that, right?
I know. That's why I said it's a stupid idea, but I don't see any other way here.
No, I don't either. I've been going over it again and again in my mind, and it's just I keep ending up in the same place.
How did we get into this?
I should have called her. Maybe I shouldn't have even left to begin with. I don't know. I just...
Okay, right there. Stop it right now. You cannot blame yourself for this. They're not the one. You're not the one hurting your mom. They did. Okay.
You know I wasn't a good daughter to her.
And you think I am too to my mom?
Well, no one could please her. It's not your fault. You're at least living the way that she wanted you to. You know?
Yeah, but that's not really much of a consolation for me. Anyway, this isn't about me. This is about you and your mom. So, do you think they would actually hurt her?
For all I know, she's already dead.
How about the lieutenant? You want me to tell him? You don't want me to tell him?
What do you think he would do?
I don't know. I don't know.
I just don't know what it would change, aside from the fact that he'd never trust me again, would he? We talked about telling him, but with it coming out like this, I can't imagine it going well.
Honestly, I think that he would be a lot more concerned about yours and your mom's safety.
I'd hope so. If you think it would be best to tell him, sure, I will. I'm just not sure about anything right now.
Okay, look, you gotta do what you gotta do. And of course I'm not gonna stop you from doing what you gotta do. Just tell me what you want me to do if you don't come out. If you and your mom don't come out. What do you want me to do?
First, tell me what you mean by don't come out.
You know what I mean.
Just wanted to be sure. Well, it's not like you'd have any family to notify. Just, make sure Fern's taken care of.
I promise you I'll take care of her. She moves in towards you again and she gives you another big long hug. I'm really sorry, Cassie. I wish I could think of a way to fix this, but I can't.
Again, she'll, hug her back and take a bit of a shuddering breath and let it out. And come on, between the two of us, if anyone could figure it out, it'd be me, right?
She hugs you a little bit tighter. Okay, well, like I said, I'll just hang out, and if you need anything, if there's anything I can do to help you, just let me know.
I will, but for now, you don't have to go back home, do you?
No, of course not.
Sleep over then?
Of course. Just like old times.
Yeah.
Although, to be quite honest, it's probably not going to be nearly as nice as when we were having it over at my place, or my old house.
Well, sorry I'm not as rich as your parents.
Oh, come on, Cassie, that's not why I hang out with you.
I know. At any rate, we might as well get comfortable, right? I
Okay.
need to... I don't know. I guess I need to stop thinking for a while.
Let's just hang out, okay?
Right. Just like old times.
Yeah, just like old times. So, okay. All right. Nebby will sleep over,
Cool.
and you guys will go to bed.
Yay, Dream World.
You will end up in the dream world. The only difference is
Don't
now.
ruin it, Molly.
The only difference is now you have a sixth person in there with you. Not a person per se, but a Pokemon with you.
I was gonna say, is it Cobblestone?
It's not Cobblestone. It is Remy. Remy, you went to sleep, and when you fall asleep, you still can. You can still feel as you're dozing off, like near the end, your last memory as you're dozing off, you can feel the warm presence that you felt when you were receiving the blessing of Mew back at the Temple of Mew. And then as you fall asleep, you wake up again, but this time you are in a very strange place with a bunch of random doors in front of you and the 5 other humans.
I have to ask, is there a little doggy door now?
No, there's no doggy door.
No accommodations.
No. So you guys will notice that Remy's here.
Remy?
Remy starts backing up into infinity, just like, oh my god, what the fuck?
Remy,
But it's like there's
dream world I told you about. Don't worry.
stops.
It's safe here. No one's gonna hurt you.
Wait, Noire, did you bring him here?
No.
How the hell is this even possible then? We've never had someone else show up.
No, we haven't.
Well, I went to the Temple of Mew today, and
Everyone roll a paranormal after she says that.
Okay.
20.
Okay. Both Noire and Cassandra. Both Noire and Cassie, after Noire says what she says, you wonder, because this dream world is connecting you to the gods, you believe that perhaps when Remy was blessed by one of the gods, was blessed by Mew, that might have caused a temporary connection to Mew, in which case it allowed him to be able to enter into the dream world this evening.
Remy is talking to himself at this point, just like where is this place? Where am I? How do I get out? Why am I sleeping? He just starts mumbling, so you hear some chirping or whining.
Sorry, Ella, it looks
Actually,
like you
yes,
wanted
this
to
is
say
the
something.
dream world. Would we be able to understand him?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, you can.
Okay,
Yes.
that's super weird.
Yes, you can.
Tiffany points at him.
You hear somebody mumbling, and
And why does it sound like Chase?
it doesn't.
Chase,
It doesn't
stop
sound like
throwing
Chase.
your voice. That's not funny.
No, it doesn't sound like Chase.
Oh.
Remy has his own unique voice, which you never heard before. But yes, so yes,
Shay, what does he sound like?
Morgan Freeman is the right answer. Morgan Freeman. Where is this place? I have no idea.
Where am I? This deep voice coming out of a small creature.
Is he? Does he have a deep voice?
No,
like,
I mean-
like seriously. How would you?
It'd be a little bit scratchy. I think just
Scratchy.
a little bit of but it'd be it'd
Right.
be fluid. It'd be a fluid, almost like French scratchy, gruff,
Okay.
gruff old man. Even though he's only 2.
He's been through some stuff, though.
Wait, you guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, and understand you.
Dream
So I
world,
guess-
if it helps any.
I guess all that Church of Mew stuff isn't actually entirely bullshit.
actually seemed to help with the glitch issue.
And then
You got that resolved?
Yeah, when you say glitch, like Remy's like he lowers his head and he's like, "Are you there?" He thinks like telepathy doesn't work in here, but he thinks into his own mind and it says, "Are you there?"
You ask, "Are you there?" You hear silence. You can't hear anything.
No, Remy, I'm at peace now.
Kill me now! Kill me now!
I think it's gone. I think it's gone.
That's great.
She's like jumping up and down like around the whole dream world with his tail perked up.
Great. Now Remy's going to be addicted to this place too. What is it with Shay's characters being addicted to the dream world?
Regular church services every day.
I gotta go back. I gotta have it.
Although, the scary thing is, he actually has sleep, doesn't he? He could literally put all of us to sleep.
Yes.
Ooh, sleep within a sleep. Dream within a dream.
How many layers?
Well, gotta say, I'm glad that we're back here tonight.
I'll admit I was worried.
Sorry about that, everyone. I didn't mean what I said. I was just really mad.
It's understandable.
So gods, are we cool?
Well, of course we're cool, sweetie. We're us. Honestly, did you not pay attention this afternoon?
They let us back in here. I think they're cool.
What happened this afternoon?
I played dress up with Molly. It was great.
Of course you did. Yep.
And she made me look pretty awesome.
Yes, I did.
It was nice. Helped me forget some stuff. Actually, a lot of people have helped me forget some stuff today, and it's weird how lucky you realize you really are. You know, when you feel unluckiest.
Yeah.
Cassie doesn't really say anything at that point.
Tiffany wraps arms around her waist.
Which
What's
door?
the plan, guys?
We have two of them to think about.
Isn't Cassie's the more time sensitive?
2 days.
Cassie, what's your plan? You know, we'll back you.
As far as I've been able to think of it, there's no solid way to have anyone, or any Pokemon for that matter, go in with me. Which I know none of you like, but that's just how it seems right now. The best thing that I can figure, if you guys really do want to be there for me, is you let me go in alone, we set a time, and if I'm not back by then, you rush in. I don't know.
Well,
But
you do go in by yourself. As soon as you get sight of your mother, make sure you secure her, and if you can, find some way to contact us, say, go in now, and we will bust down every door.
yeah, of course I'll
get
do the
to
best I
you.
can while surrounded by rocket agents, but that would be ideal.
You're very smart, Cassie. And also, you could also probably try and buy time. Your intelligence is one of your best assets. Team Rocket probably knows that.
Thanks.
If you can keep them occupied with promises of, oh, I don't know, do sciencey stuff.
Yeah.
Sciencey
maybe.
stuff.
I don't know much about science, but Team Rocket probably would like some new specs for stuff or things to help them capture Pokemon better. You don't
I mean, I'm
actually
not gonna
have to make
lie,
them.
I could give them improvements. Not that I would, for the record, but
You could just destroy them on your way out, to be honest.
we'll see. You know, I'm trying to keep an open mind. I have been thinking about a lot of things lately. But it all
Okay.
depends on what it looks like on the inside.
What do you remember?
Hmm?
What do you remember about that place?
I mean, it could have changed by now, you know, if we're just being realistic. But, you know, I remember the basic layout. You know, like where the...
As soon as you say you remember the basic layout, in the dream world, this big map materializes in front of you. Almost
That's
as if the
handy.
map is being generated by your own memory.
Useful.
Goddamn right it does.
Almost like the map that you have in Roll20.
What?
In fact, exactly like that
How
map.
convenient, even though it's
How-
not there right now.
It says
Yes.
Pokemon Spectrum.
Yep, it's not. Yep. Currently,
But I
it is
believe
not.
I've sent everyone the PNG, so if you would all...
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
But, you know, seeing that, she will perk up a little, you know, little nod. She's impressed.
Where would they keep her?
Well, we never really... The Rockets never really kept people. You know what I mean? You know, at the worst, I'm sure some were killed. At best, you know, knocked out and they wake up somewhere else. So, if people were to be kept, maybe in the common area, just locked away in one of the rooms, or maybe in this case, given the actual situation, it's possible the director's suite.
This might secure
See,
location.
the director's suite is very secure. There's only one way to actually reach it, and that's through the elevator, which
You need a card key.
you need a key card to access. Thank you, Arceus. So on top of that,
Well,
they can restrict access entirely. If they want to let you down, they can let you down. They're aware when someone's coming down, and they can very well stop people from leaving. I feel like that would be one of the best places to have a standoff of sorts.
so what type of man is the director? What would he want more than anything that he would beg for? What is he interested in?
She'll nod slightly and, you know, look again at the projection and say, well, he was always a fan of Pokemon, you know, the rare ones, of course. That was kind of where I was stationed.
Well, that can both be an interesting asset and potentially ally.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure my smarts, as you put it, would help out too much in that case. It's not like I could engineer a rare Pokemon.
But they also would appreciate technology that would help to acquire Pokemon.
Yeah. Chase will say, "Are you sure?" And he looks at her wrist.
Is he looking at the EvDev then?
Yeah.
Alright, well he'll follow her indication. Or she'll follow his, there we go. And then, you know, glance up from her skin, shake her head like, oh no, it's not really related.